Good afternoon to our viewers and subscribers to D&J Drives. It's 3:45 on the 8th of December 2024. This is part 3 of exploring the parish of Christchurch. We are starting, it's still 29 degrees from when we did part 2. We're starting from Carter's in Christchurch, Carter's Express, Pilgrim Place, Christchurch, and to our right is the turn off to the point of seeing the airplane watching activity where we ended part 2. So we took you full circle there and didn't get to end that video properly because of a bit of a malfunction with our equipment. But for those who followed us on that drive, please accept my apology for that. We've just turned off from Pilgrim Place to join the ABC Highway. So where we are right now is just at the entry point to the ABC Highway on the Adams section. Right across the road there is Lowlands. Unfortunately, some people usually get from this point and go right across the highway to that side, which is illegal. We will not be doing that. We joined the ABC Highway. So recall we started at Carter's, Pilgrim Place, Christchurch, and we made that first left by a medical facility. We just passed an imbecile on a motorcycle playing with life, swaying from left to right and doing wheelies behind us on this wet road. There was some rain a short while ago. So we are making our way across the ABC Highway at the Adams section on this part 3 of exploring the parish of Christchurch Drive. So far we've covered Chancery Lane, we've covered all along the northern perimeter of Christchurch. We've come all the way across the east with the 2 entry points from St. Philip. So video number 2, drive number 2, we went to Chancery Lane, and then we showed you some of the green area, which is a bit of a swamp. And now we are going to show you another end of Christchurch. Just come here to the Henry Ford roundabout. We've covered this roundabout before, but this is the first time we are covering it since the death of Sir Henry. May he rest in peace. You all should remember this, Highway 6. Development going on to the right. Way to the right is Chickmont. To the Paradise Nature Park. And these vehicles turning right here will take you into Chickmont Food. We usually mention Chickmont as we come across that highway. You would never believe that this road was recently resurfaced. Oh, and look at that, driving right behind us is the head of the Defense Force. Official vehicle is right behind us. That drives the Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defense Force. GWM tank. And as they make their way along Highway 6, we turn off. To Lowlands. Spot on the right there, red donkey, and this is Lowlands to the left. Well, not only to the left, but that's where the residential area is. So a short while ago, we were parked just across there where you can see a blue arrow, and I explained that some cars, you can see cars turning right, some cars come across the highway to get to Lowlands. So that's the explanation there. You can see how dangerous it would be to do that, but many drivers do it, and I would even say do it routinely. There's a new development going up here on the left, Coverley, the villages at Coverley, which we've covered before. And if we stayed along this highway, ABC highway, we just get back to the airport. So we will just swing right back on this roundabout, just at the entrance to the villages at Coverley. Make our way back. A large section of the ABC highway covers, but it goes right through Christchurch. again, we can either turn right here to get into Lowlands, or turn left to get right back to Pilgrim Place at Carter's Express where we started. Many people aren't aware that there's a Carter's right there in Christchurch. Very small outfit. You can get most of everything there. So you don't have to drive all the way to Wildy to get your stuff. Context, we make a left off the ABC highway, right where there's a big church on the left, Tower of Power, the Horticultural Society to the right, and you turn left and you can get to Durance Ridgeway on the right, it's just behind the golf course. This is Southern Heights to the left, one of the many upscale residential areas in Christchurch. That's a newer development, relatively new. There are still homes under construction in there. And this left turn takes us right back to Highway 7. Ahead of us is the Providence Methodist Church. So you turn off the highway, face Providence Methodist Church, make a right turn. You can see a plane ahead of us there coming in, and then you make a right here to the Barbados Golf Club. There's the sign. Famous El Sol Sereno residential area, gated community. And here we are at the Barbados Golf Club. The Barbados Golf Club was officially opened by the Honorable Owen S. Arthur, Prime Minister of Barbados, on August 27th, 2000. That's what that sign says. And we just turned off there a bit just to give you a bit of some context in terms of coming across the highway and how to get to the golf course. This is one of the more prominent features of the parish of Christchurch. Very, very popular golf course. In fact, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago loves to play there when he is visiting Barbados, from my understanding. Just come off that road to the airport, the old road, Highway 7, and head right back to the ABC Highway. Charnocks, as mentioned earlier. And just a brief detour into Durance Ridgeway. So the people who live here, they have a lovely view of the golf course, and of course there's another plane coming in. There it is, if you can see it, plane coming in. This area is close to the airport, and in drive number 2 we showed you where Barbadians go to plane watch. The people who live out here right on the golf course, they have their own view of the planes coming in. As you can imagine, this is a very upscale residential area. Very large and beautiful homes, mostly well appointed. Tall automatic gates. From here you can see all the way down to the coast. We can't cover all of it, of course, but we just want to give you a feel of the area. Any of our viewers from Trinidad, if you happen to be watching this, the feel for this area is somewhat like like Mocha. Houses out here have access to the golf course. The houses to the left, they open up to the golf course. Their backyards look into the golf course. And we turn at this point because there's an open lot, and you can see the Barbados golf course from the other side. Desirable area. Many of the properties here are high in value. And that's just a little piece of it. plate. This is a diplomat's vehicle parked right outside this very large property. Any number plate you see in Barbados with yellow and blue and the letters CD, that's for Corp Diplomatique. Those vehicles belong to the pool of diplomatic vehicles. CD, so there's CD 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes all the way down. And some of the older embassies that were here for many years, such as the Canadian Embassy, Canadian High Commission, they have number plates that are higher up. CD 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Very lovely homes in here. From here you can see the ABC highway. That's the highway right there. So this is Durance Ridgeway. And of course, if we passed the golf course on the right and we continued along that road, we would get to another Durance cul-de-sac, Fairways, and then we enter Calendars. There are 2 or 3 right turns, and then all of that area is Durance and Calendars, and then you just drive down Thornbury Hill and get into Oystons. And that's the Tower of Power Global Network Ministries we mentioned a little while ago. So to the right is the golf course, and then we enter Southern Heights. Southern Heights has two phases. This is the first. Again, very large, upscale and beautiful houses you can find in here, as well as a few apartment buildings rather. This is phase 1. So this development situated along to the right of the ABC highway, or to the left depending on your perspective. Little play park in here. to the end of it. One of the newer residential areas of Christchurch, Southern Heights. See, there's still land for sale in here. Construction here. That's the back of the church out there. And then we exit Southern Heights. So again, that's the golf course to the left. We've shown you Durance and Southern Heights before rejoining the ABC highway at the Adams section. So we've rejoined the ABC highway. To the left is where we turned a short while ago, and we pointed out the highway to you. It was exactly to the left here right now by that blue container. That's where we turned. Again, we take the Henry Ford roundabout. back onto Highway 6. So this is a bit of a repeat. But at least you're going to understand the road network, and it will connect the dots for those of you following these videos closely. I should say these drives closely, because the purpose of the videos is the drives. D&J drives. It's a father and son duo who have embarked on a project to showcase the road network in Barbados, and our viewership has grown, and we've had many requests for specific routes. We get a lot of positive comments, a lot of critical comments as well, designed to help us improve, and we appreciate all of it. So we make our way to St. Patrick's, and we'll point out a few other places of interest in this drive number 3, exploring the parish of Christchurch. Those of you who covered ours exploring the parish of St. Philip Drive should remember what we mentioned about Highway 6. Highway 6 can take you all the way into St. Philip and feed you into 6 roads. We are in the vicinity of St. Patrick's. There's Crumb's Bakery to our right, and we must showcase this area, this establishment here. We refer to it as St. Patrick's Food. They do some lovely fish and chips and barbecue chicken. You can get that on Friday nights and Saturday nights. This is another residential area on the right and on the left. Country View Estates to the right. Anybody who followed the St. Philip Drive, exploring the parish of St. Philip. Should recall the Barbados National Oil Company on the left. That's where we ended it, and you can see the sign here says entering the parish of St. Philip. So while we started our drive number 2, showcasing the 2 points of entry from St. Philip, this is another. And as you know, to the right of Christchurch, or on the eastern end, is St. Philip. This piece of the roundabout takes us into another Christchurch development. So had we continued along past the National Oil Company, we would eventually get to 6 roads and 4 roads. But we just turned back at just after the oil company, just to take you to that point of entry to Christchurch from St. Philip. This is the Gordon Walters Primary School. And this is their playing field. We usually take you inside of these schools, or we like to, but for the most part these gates are closed, so you can just get a little glimpse into it. Gordon Walters Primary School, and this is Fairview in Christchurch. Lowthers Park on the left, Lowthers or Lowthers. Airport via Charnocks. There is a garbage truck right ahead of us, so we won't venture there because that will hold us up, so we have to change plans quickly. This area is Charnocks, and it takes us right back to the ABC highway. But of course, we don't want to get onto the highway. A left turn here takes us back to the airport. We want to go all the way back, and hopefully the garbage truck would have made its way in so that we can show you our planned drive. Residential area, Charnocks. The Rose Senior Citizens Home on the right. So there's so many, as I keep saying, there's so many areas, settlement areas in Christchurch. I believe St. Michael and Christchurch are the two most densely populated parishes, if I'm not mistaken. Christchurch is split among 5 constituencies: Christchurch North, South, East West, and East Central. Said Henry Ford, whose roundabout we passed a while ago, he was the MP for Christchurch West, I believe, subject to correction, for many years. Not sure which of the constituencies, but needless to say, William Duguid, Dr. William Duguid, is now the MP for that parish, for that constituency rather. So you can see Christchurch, like all the others, has a mixture of housing stock catering to all facets of society: high income, low income, middle income. We're back on track now. Village. There's a stable on the right. Private property trespassers will be prosecuted. Why are we here? We're here so we can't enter that private property, obviously. But we're here to point out that this is another border to St. Philip, so the road ends there. This is Walrans Road. make an about turn to remain within Christchurch. So we came through Fairview and got to this point. This is the left turn that we made a short while ago. To avoid the garbage truck. Again, the Lowthers Primary School to our left, Bright Hill number 3 to our right. Oh, and the sun is giving us direct spotlight just to indicate that we are driving to the west. This is the said roundabout once more. To give you context, from St. Patrick, this is along Highway 6. That's Highway 6 going to 6 Roads, and we re-enter this area. We're going towards the Lowthers Primary School again. Country View Estate. Hill number 3 again. So entering this area for the first time, you would turn left into Lowthers or Lowthers Park. This is a new residential area, not new as in 2 or 3 years, but relatively new. Choose your property here, and you just chose one from I think 3 or 4 possible designs. That's one developer who purchased the land in here and built all of these properties. Just have to choose your pattern. all of these properties were built in accordance with that plan. Still one vacant lot in here, but as you can see, they all conform to more or less the same designs. And it's a very quiet area. Tight for turning, so obviously when you come to an area like this, you're coming to a specific house, because you can't use this area to get anywhere else. That's yet another residential area in Christchurch. Lowthers Park, just across from the Gordon Walters Primary School. So we turn back so that you could find it from the roundabout. You can come through here and get to Charnocks and back to the highway. We rejoin Highway 6. We'll just dip into Country View Estates. Again, this is another area where you chose from any of about 3 or 4 designs. One level or 2 levels. Country View Estate mailboxes for lots 1 to 300. Nice little area, nice settlement. the homes equipped with the photovoltaic service. This house ahead of us. Newly built house on the left. People power washing their homes. This time, everybody is getting ready for Christmas. So we dipped in, we dipped out. When we entered this area, we turned left. This is what would have happened had we just gone straight. We just continue here now. Lowthers Hill or Lowthers. Cars parked on the side, so you have to be careful as you come through here. And then there's a big dip somewhere. Okay. Big dip there. Spirit of cooperation when you come to these parts. You have to know when to turn off. That goes all the way up, but we're turning off to get back to St. Patrick's proper. Sorry that we can't show you a bit more of these areas, but there's just so much ground to cover, and we've had to turn off just now because of the garbage truck, so that's gonna run this video a bit longer than we'd planned. We don't want to cut out anything. So we're back in St. Patrick's. Heading west. Highway 6. Searles on the left. That's a whole other residential area in there and commercial area. Searles on the left. There's a guy who sells newspaper right here. Mr. Seeley is his name. Very pleasant chap. Another place of interest in Christchurch is the Coral Ridge Cemetery. There's one in St. Peter. I think it's called Pleasant Hall Gardens or Pleasant something. Of course, there's only so much capacity for burial in Barbados. Many of the churches have church burial grounds. Mainly the Anglican churches. The Catholic Cathedral has one. There are public cemeteries in Christchurch and other parishes. But this feature here Coral Ridge marked Barbados' first crematorium and burial ground. Has a sort of an American cemetery feel to it. Coral Ridge Memorial Gardens. So there's it goes all the way down to the back, roundabout of course. And there are different sections. That's the chapel out there and the crematorium. And of course there are different sides and different prices associated with the area in the cemetery that one is buried. So even in death there's hierarchy. Some areas are not allowed to have headstones. There's just a one wall where you can put a plaque, and the more expensive areas you can have individual headstones. So there's a memorial wall, and then such as on the left for those graves that are closer with no headstones allowed. They just put a stake into the ground so that it shows the number of the lot, D236 and so on. And that is along Highway Q. Coral Ridge Memorial. A bit morbid, but it's a place of interest in Christchurch. And there are only two such facilities in Barbados. This and the one in St. Philip. This Highway Q is not lit. There are no street lights. So when you're passing through this road at night, it's very, very treacherous because as you can see, it's very winding. Okay, so this connects a dot, or connects the dots as I like to say. This road, Highway Q, reconnects us to Highway 6. So recall we used Highway 6 to get to Lowthers. And Fairview, St. Patrick's, and to 6 Roads. We've just rejoined Highway 6, and that feeds us into the ABC Highway. So Coral Ridge Memorial is a very, very well used facility now, because many people, instead of going to the church and then to the burial ground, they just use that chapel there as we make our way around the Henry Ford roundabout. They just use the chapel there and have the service and then the burial or cremation. And I was saying Pleasant View just now, but the name of the facility, the similar facility in St. Peter, is Mount Pleasant Memorial Gardens. Mount Pleasant. So Coral Ridge and Mount Pleasant, those are the two sort of state-of-the-art burial facilities in Barbados. Very modern, and there's nothing quite like them in the other Caribbean islands. There are a lot of older cemeteries with a lot of history. So this is the place now that people tend to bury, or tend to be buried. To our left is Kingsland. Now, we've spoken about Kingsland so many times in previous drives as we made our way along the ABC Highway. And today we will venture into Kingsland briefly. Very densely populated area in Christchurch. Falls within the parish, the constituency of Christchurch East Central, represented by Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn. And of course, one of the first things as we head into this area is the Deighton Griffith Secondary School, whose gate is unlocked. So we shall venture in. Deighton Griffith Secondary School. Many of the schools in Barbados are named for former educators or Barbadians who made a significant contribution to its development. This is the Deighton Griffith Secondary School. Large playing field, pavilion, basketball court, and of course the next school closest to this is Christchurch Foundation School, which is on the right, going all along this road, but we want to venture into Kingsland. We've covered Christchurch Foundation School sufficiently, so we don't need to include it on these Christchurch drives. Now there are so many turns and avenues within Kingsland, we can't possibly do it all, but we just want to give you, as usual, a feel for the area, a feel of the area. One can get lost very easily in here. Believe it or not, this area is so densely populated that it actually makes a difference in the outcome of the election for this constituency. The members of Parliament, formerly Ronald Jones, Minister of Education, I can't remember the names of the other MPs, but they place great emphasis on this area, and its neighboring development is Wotton, which we won't cover today, but these areas get a lot of attention from the Member of Parliament because they can decide the outcome of the elections. The other developments in Christchurch are not as densely populated, so though important, they don't get this level of attention. And as you can see, there are homes everywhere. It's just continuous, relatively small lots, 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. That corner lot appears larger, but most of them are very close. You can see there's no end to this development. It just goes on and on. And like anywhere else, both large and small homes, and some in between. An apartment building such as this one, such as this. Large property going up there, and then of course you can see all the way down to the lighthouse. See a little bench out there with residents sitting and enjoying their Sunday evening. I believe that area is the back of Wharton, but not certain. Got a good view of Kingsland. And as I said, one can become lost in here very easily. Big hole there. Join the entrance here to the Kingsland, and we see right ahead of us is the Deighton Griffith Secondary School. We're very happy that the gate was unlocked and open so that we could show you a bit of the school. We always like to drive into schools show them off, because many of our viewers enjoy seeing their old schools, especially those who live overseas and haven't been able to see it in a while. Kingsland, 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 or Kingsland. And to our right is Silver Hill, and we're going into another part of Christchurch. The name of this road is Kingsland/Gall Hill Road because it feeds into Gall Hill. Of course, all good things must come to an end. Therefore, while there's more to Kingsland on the left to show you, we are going to cut it off here today. At 5:09 p.m. Just at the end of this road. To the left here is Wotton. As we make our way along Kingsland Gall Hill Road. Water Street to the left, where there's the Milton Lynch Primary School and Christchurch Girls Primary School. All of this is there's developments all on the left and the right, but we ended the Aberdeen Jones complex on our right, where you can have a view of the Joe Edgell playing ground and Christchurch Foundation way ahead. Until next time, this is D&J Drive saying thanks for joining us. Please remember to share this video with all of your Barbadian friends and family overseas and anyone planning a visit. Until next time.